Among the seven wonders of the ancient world, the Colossus of Rhodes was perhaps the most audacious in concept. A massive bronze statue of the sun god Helios, erected to celebrate a city's freedom and power. Though it stood for scarcely half a century before being toppled by an earthquake, it became legendary, emblematic of Hellenistic ambition and technical daring. This lecture examines the Colossus in its historical context, construction, symbolism, and legacy, real and imagined. Rhodes, an island strategically located at the crossroads of the Aegean and Eastern Mediterranean, prospered as a maritime and trading hub in the 4th and 3rd centuries BCE. After the death of Alexander the Great, his successors, the Diadochi, fought bitter wars. In 305 BCE, Demetrius Poliorcetes, son of Antigonus, besieged Rhodes with formidable siege engines, including the massive Helepolis, city taker, a 9-story siege tower. The Rhodians resisted with determination and tactical brilliance. By 304 BCE, Demetrius abandoned the siege, and Rhodes's independence was secured. To commemorate this victory and their patron deity Helios, the Rhodians resolved to erect a colossal statue. The statue was designed by Charis of Lindos, a pupil of the great sculptor Lysippus. According to ancient sources, it took 12 years to complete, circa 292 to 280 BCE. Height. Estimates vary, but most place it at about 32 to 33 meters, 105 feet, making it one of the tallest statues of antiquity. Material. Constructed of bronze plates over an iron framework with stone infill to add stability. Method. The statue was built piece by piece, with earth gradually heaped around it to allow workers to reach higher levels. Once completed, the earth was removed. Contrary to later legend, the Colossus almost certainly did not straddle the harbor entrance with ships sailing between its legs. Ancient sources describe it as standing on a solid base, probably near the harbor, visible as a dazzling symbol to arriving ships. Helios, the sun god, was Rhodes's chief deity. The Colossus embodied the city's divine protection, victory, and maritime power. Its gleaming bronze surface would have reflected the Mediterranean sun, a beacon proclaiming resilience and wealth. The decision to invest enormous resources in such a statue reflects Hellenistic culture's emphasis on spectacle, monumentalism, and civic pride. It was not merely religious, but political, a declaration to allies and rivals alike that Rhodes was a city of consequence. In 226 BCE, only about 54 years after its completion, a powerful earthquake struck Rhodes. The Colossus collapsed at the knees, breaking into pieces. Ptolemy III of Egypt offered to fund its reconstruction, but the Rhodians consulted an oracle that advised against rebuilding. The ruins, however, remained on display for centuries, and ancient travelers marveled at the fallen fragments. Pliny the Elder, 1st century C.E., noted that even lying on the ground, the Colossus inspired awe. The Colossus lived on in imagination far longer than it stood in bronze. Medieval and Renaissance writers embellished its form, often depicting it straddling the harbor. This image inspired comparisons to modern monuments such as the Statue of Liberty, sometimes called a modern Colossus. In antiquity, its ruins were eventually sold as scrap metal after the Arab conquest of Rhodes in the 7th century CEE, but its fame as one of the seven wonders ensured enduring renown. Engineering achievement, a masterpiece of bronze casting and structural design. Cultural symbol, embodied civic pride, divine favor, and the grandeur of the Hellenistic world. Enduring image, influenced art and imagination for 2 millennia, even in absence. The Colossus of Rhodes reminds us of both the ambition and fragility of human achievement. In its brief life, it symbolized victory, identity, and splendor. In its ruin, it testified to the power of nature and the impermanence of monuments. Its legend endured because it spoke to the universal human desire to build something so magnificent that the world would remember it, even if only in fragments.